ये ज्ञान कहाँ, रे मनवा बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ, रे मनवा ज्ञान बिना ये ध्येय अधूरा, ज्ञान बिना ये ध्येय अधूरा। हरि चरण कमल कैसे पाऊं, हरि चरण कमल कैसे पाऊं, बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ, रे मनवा बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ, रे मनवा। काम क्रोध मद लोभ मोह मिल, काम क्रोध मद लोभ मोह मिल, अहंकार है जीव का दुश्मन। काम क्रोध मद लोभ मोह मिल, अहंकार है जीव का दुश्मन। भक्ति विनय से सेवा भाव से, भक्ति विनय से सेवा भाव से, जानो ये गुरु महिमा, रे मनवा जानो ये गुरु महिमा, रे मन पहचानो ये गुरु महिमा, रे मनवा। हरि चरण कमल कैसे पाऊं, बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ, रे मन गुरु बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ। नित्य निरंतर अंतर्यामी, नित्य निरंतर अंतर्यामी, हृदय विराजे मेरे स्वामी। नित्य निरंतर अंतर्यामी, हृदय विराजे मेरे स्वामी। कैसे पाऊं उस भगवान को गुरु कृपा के बिना, रे मनवा गुरु दया के बिना, रे मनवा ज्ञान बिना ये ध्येय अधूरा, ज्ञान बिना ये ध्येय अधूरा। हरि चरण कमल कैसे पावो, बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ, रे मनवा बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ, रे मन गुरु बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ, रे मनवा।
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidya Charyaya Nachiketa Secha. Humble prostrations to one and all. Lord Yamarāja apologizes to Nachiketa because of which Nachiketa had to remain without food for 3 days at the doorsteps of Yamarāja's house. So Yamarāja apologizes, does his Pada Puja and says, because you have suffered for 3 days, you may choose 3 boons. So for the first boon, Nachiketa asks for the welfare and well-being of his father. Shanta sankalpaha sumana yatha syad vitamanyuhu gautamaha mabhimrityo. O Yamarāja, may my father be Shanta Sankalpa, free from all kinds of agitations and disturbances and guilt feelings. May his mind be Sumana, cheerful and peaceful. Vitamanyuhu, may he not have any kind of ill feeling towards me. And then, Tvat Prasrishtam, left by you. Pratitaha, may he recognize me. So when I go back, he should be able to recognize me. Mam abhivadet, and also he should speak to me. So this is the first boon I ask. So Yamarāja said, Tathastu. The same thing will happen. Your father will have a good sleep, a peaceful mind, and when you go back, he will recognize you, he will speak to you, and the same love and affection which he had earlier, the same thing will continue. Tathastu. So first boon is over. Now for the second boon, what does Nachiketa ask? He says, O Lord, I have heard about Svargaloka. What is its nature? Svargaloke na bhayam kinchanasti. There is no fear in Svargaloka of any kind. Na tatratvam, there you are not there. Death is not there. Na jaraya bhibheti, there is no fear of old age also. So no death, no old age. Ubhe tirtva ashanaya pipase, there is no problem with respect to hunger and thirst. It is well taken care. Shokatigaha, a person who is there, he is free from all kinds of sorrows. Modate Svargaloke, and in that Svargaloka, a person rejoices. So in short, what is Svargaloka? Svargaloka is something where there is absolutely no suffering, no pain. There is only joy. There is no death, there is no decay, there is no disease, there is no old age. The most conducive environment which anyone can ever think of, that is Svargaloka. I have heard that. Okay, Nachiketa, what is your request? Oh Lord, my request is this. Sa Swargyam Agnim Tvam Adhyeshi. I also have heard that you know this Agni Vidya, this Vidya with which a person is able to attain Svargaloka. I have heard that you know this knowledge. So therefore, my request is, Mahyam Prabruhitvam. You please give this knowledge to me. I deserve this knowledge, Bhagavan, because Shraddhadhanaya Mahyam. I have total faith in this knowledge. I have heard Svargalokaha Amrutatvam Bhajante. All those people who reside in Svargaloka, they experience immortality. So therefore, I would like to have this knowledge, Agni Vidya, from you. Etat dvitiyena varena vrane. So this is what I ask as second boon. So yesterday we had seen Nachiketa is not asking for himself, actually he is asking for others. So all those people who could be free from all these agitations and sorrows of this world. So Nachiketa could give this knowledge to others and thus make them free from the sufferings of life. So for the welfare of others, he is asking this boon. Now, yesterday we were discussing about the other world concept. In Hinduism, we have this concept of the other world. This is one world, but after death, a person goes to the other world also. Now, here there are certain things to be discussed. We must have a clear understanding of what this other world is. According to Vedanta, world is nothing but projection of our own minds. What is world? World is nothing but projection of our mind. But what is the common understanding about the world? The common understanding is there is this world which is solid, which is real, which is perceptible. This world is permanent. We come to this world, exist in this world. We are born in this world, we grow, decay and finally die in this world and go away. So world is ever there, world is permanent. We come, we are born, we grow, we mature, we decay, we die, we leave the body and then go to some other world. This is the idea which generally people have. Now, according to Vedanta, world has no independent existence. World exists because the mind exists. The world that we see outside as solid reality has no independent existence of its own. It exists because our mind exists. So, who is giving existence to this world? Our own mind is giving existence to this world. Now, it will be difficult to accept this truth. According to us, mind has nothing to do with the world. World is ever there, whether I exist or not. Because the same world is seen by so many people. So, our understanding is world has an independent reality. But Vedanta says no, world has no such independent reality. It depends on your mind. It is a projection of your mind. Now, what is the greatest proof to prove this? The greatest proof is when there is no mind, there is no world. Whenever there is mind, then and then there is world. Whenever there is no mind, there is no world. Therefore, world has no independent existence other than the mind. This is the logic. So, when is the time when mind is not there? When we are in deep sleep, mind becomes absent and therefore the world also becomes absent for us. When the mind is there, world is there. When the mind is not there, world is not there. Therefore, world has no independent existence other than the mind. Now someone may argue, maybe world is not for you because you are sleeping, but the world is there for others. So the answer given to this is, for others, where is the world? So we say the world is in their mind. So every one of us, we are experiencing this world with our mind. Without mind, the world cannot be experienced. So world has no independent existence, it depends on our mind. This is the first statement. Now we may say, you mean to say that the mind is projecting the entire world? We say yes. How can the mind project the world? This question may come. So therefore we have another great proof in our life, and that is our dream world experience. In our dream world, who is projecting the entire dream world? Our own mind. In the dream we may not know it, but once we wake up, we clearly know that the whole world was in me. It was nothing but a projection of my own mind. So this is another great proof to prove that world is nothing but the projection of our mind. We cannot deny it because it is our experience. God, out of His infinite compassion, has given this experience to us, the dream state experience, to give a glimpse of, or to make us aware that the world is nothing but the projection of our mind. It is only because of this dream experience that we are able to accept that yes, mind can project a world. Our mind is so powerful, infinitely powerful. We ourselves don't know how much power our mind has. It has infinite power. Just imagine, to project a world, it is not an easy task. In the dream, you see infinite space, and remember that space has nothing to do with the waking space. So that means the mind has to generate everything, it has to create everything. So the mind is capable of creating infinite space, infinite sky, infinite ocean, infinite number of people. And to go through this dream world, you need a BMI, body, mind, intellect. So this dream mind creates a body for you, a separate body for you. This body has nothing to do with the waking body. Just imagine. And it has to create a mini mind for you inside this body. The dream mind has to create a mini mind for you inside to go through these world experiences. And not only it has to create a mind for you, it has to create mind for each and every being you see in the world. There are so many people you may see in the dream world. Each one you find that there is a mind in everyone. There are senses in everyone, sense organs in everyone. Just imagine. It has to create Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas not only for you, it has to create these organs of sense perception and action for everyone you meet in the dream world. Can you imagine the power of that mind? Whatever you see in the waking world, everything can be replicated in the dream world. Now, who is creating the whole of dream world? It is created by our own mind. So, just imagine the power of that mind. That power is limitless. That power is infinite. It is unimaginable. We are talking of our own mind, about which we have no idea. So, if this mind can project a dream world, definitely it can project any number of world, any type of world, any kind of world. The mind has that ability. The proof is our own dream experience. So therefore the statement is, world has no independent existence, it is a projection of our mind. It is the mind which is projecting and making you believe that there is an outer world separate from you. It is nothing but your own mind. Now the next question that comes is, what is the material with which the mind makes this world? There has to be some material with which the mind projects the world. On what basis is the mind projecting the world? Is there some basis? Is there some cause? Is there some material? For that, again we come to this dream world experience. What is the material with which the mind projects the dream world? So, all those who have studied Tattvabodha, we have all studied Tattvabodha. So, the definition of the dream world itself is that whatever samskaras we have gathered from the waking world, these samskaras which are stored in the mind, these are the samskaras with which the tendencies, the vasanas, the samskaras, all those vasanas or tendencies of samskaras which are stored in the mind, they become the material for projecting the dream world. So there is a deep relationship between the waking world and the dream world. There is a relationship. So all those desires, the suppressions and repressions, those desires which I was not able to fulfill in the waking world, the mind, in order to release those suppressions, it creates a dream world and make you experience what you wanted to experience. It makes you fulfill those desires which you want to get it fulfilled, which you could not in the waking. This could be one reason. There are so many such reasons. So you will always find there is a relationship between the waking world and the dream world. You will never be able to see anything in the dream which you have never experienced in the waking. It is not possible. That animal which you have never seen, that food which you have never eaten, it is not possible for you to experience in the dream world. The samskaras gathered in the waking, they continue in the dream. That is why you will find in the waking, if you are a man, so in the dream also you will continue to be a man, because that samskara is very deep in you, that I am a man. So in the dream you will not find yourself as a buffalo or a cow or an elephant, no. You will not find yourself as a woman, no. You will find yourself as a man in the dream also. So the dream mind projects a man's body for you, and then you live the dream world with this man's body, you see. So there is a science behind projection of the world also. There is a logic, there is a perfect science. The impressions gathered by the mind in the waking, making use of that material, that is a masala for the mind to project the dream world. A person who is always thinking about a particular subject, say he is always watching cricket and reading about cricket and etc. So then you will find that in the dream he may meet so many cricket stars. He is a fan of a particular cricket star and he always thinks about him and reads about him, etc. etc. So you will find he will see a dream where he meets such and such stars. Maybe he will have lunch with that star together, etc. Such experiences can come. Where is that experience coming from? it is nothing but the material gathered from the waking world. If you are a spiritual person, it's possible. If you are a bhakta of a particular Ishtadevata, say Rama, Krishna, etc. So it is possible that in the dream you may have the vision of these gods. If you are constantly thinking about your guru, there is a lot of guru bhakti. You are constantly reading and thinking, etc., etc., etc. So it is possible that in your dream that guru may come. You may spend time with that guru. It is possible. So whether good or bad, mind gathers impression from the waking and projects in the dream. Good or bad. Suppose there is a criminal, doing all kinds of criminal activities. What kind of dream he will have? You will find that in his dream also he will see only criminal activities going on. He will see himself chased by the police, beaten in the prison, locked up in the jail, doing all kinds of unwanted things. This is the kind of dream he will have, isn't it? You see, small children, they watch all these ghost movies in the night. And then after watching this movie, they go to sleep. And you definitely within 1 or 2 hours, you will find them shouting, screaming in their sleep. Now what is happening? Those images in the movie, maybe some images were very, frightening. So those frightening moments got registered deep into the mind. So these moments, it has to be released. So therefore, in the dream, he sees something similar to it, and then so the dream world creates that ghost world, the dream mind creates that ghost world, taking the content from the waking state. So therefore, the dreaming mind projects the dream world with the impressions gathered from the waking world. If this is true, the very same logic can be applied here also. So what is that other world? Now please understand, there is no going to other world. Very many times we think this way. We imagine that once we die, we go to some other world. Now whenever we say going to some other world, always we imagine there is a spatial travel. We travel some distance and finally we reach there. This is the thing which we imagine. So very many times the scientists, to find out whether there is some other world or not, they search this space. Say they go millions and billions of light years here, there, etc., and they find that there is no world. Now please understand, going from one world to another, it is not a spatial travel, it is only a change of the plane of consciousness. Exactly like how do you go from the waking world to the dream world? Do you travel? No, you don't travel, you are just lying down, isn't it? What is happening? What is happening is, the mind which was projecting the waking world, now the very same mind is projecting the dream world, that's all. It is a change of mind that is happening. The mind earlier was projecting the waking world, the very same mind, now it has become a dreaming mind. So it is only a change of plane of consciousness, you see. Who are you? Actually, you are pure consciousness, but now you are watching, you are witnessing this change of mind, the change of projection of mind. So it is nothing but experiencing a different mind, your own mind, but experiencing a different projection of mind. This is what is happening. It is not travel. It is just a change of experience of a different mental projection. So if this is what is happening from the waking state to the dream state, it is the same thing that is happening after death also. So while living, you are projected, the mind is projecting the waking world. After death, the mind will project the other world. Now, what will be the content of the other world? How will the mind project the other world? Where will it get the masala from? It has to take masala from the waking world only. This we have to understand. The samskaras gathered in the waking state, those samskaras are stored in the mind, and with these samskaras, after death, the mind projects a world. Now, how many different kinds of samskaras can be there in the mind? There can be infinite varieties of samskaras. Remember, every plant is a jivatma. So, while living as a plant, it has its own samskara. It gathers its own impression. An insect gathers its own impression. It has its own world. An animal has its own world. A bird has its own world. And all those worlds it is nothing but its own mind, a projection of his mind. A human being has his own world. Now, his own world means all. See the variety as far as a human being is concerned. In this world itself, so many worlds are there. There is a sports world. And in that sports world, how many types of world? Cricket world, hockey world, football world, ice hockey world, high jump, long jump, so many worlds in that one sports world. Then there is a world of music, and so many worlds in that one world. Then there is a world of science, world of engineering, world of medicine, world of law, world of commerce. Infinite number of worlds. Infinite number of worlds means what? Infinite number of different kinds of impressions. So the mind can gather infinite varieties of impressions. There is no end to it. So accordingly, that person will have to experience different worlds. Now in our scriptures, basically they talk about three worlds mainly. The higher world, the lower world, and the middle world. Urdhvagati, Madhyagati, Adhogati. Now these worlds are based on the samskaras gathered by the mind. And the samskaras are also three types. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, based on the gunas. So if a person in the waking state, if his mind is filled with virtues, the scriptures say, if the mind is filled with Daivi Sampat, good virtues of life, a mind is pure. So he has cultivated those virtues in life. Such a virtuous mind, that virtues are the impressions. So such a virtuous mind must cultivate a virtuous world, a beautiful world, a conducive world. So this is called higher world. So whenever we say higher world, understand a world where everything is conducive. Why is the world conducive? World is conducive because it is created by a virtuous mind. It is projected by a virtuous mind. A virtuous mind will project only a conducive world for you. In this world also it's the same thing we see. A person who is virtuous, he will have minimum problems. He will have minimum suffering. He will have very good loving relationship with everyone. His suffering is minimum. A person who is a virtuous person, he will enjoy maximum from life and suffer minimum in life. This is what we see in this world. The virtues have this knack of creating a conducive world for you, wherever you are. So such a virtuous mind will create a higher world for him. Now these higher worlds, we can call it Svarga here. In the same way, if the mind is wicked and crooked and trained in all kinds of viciousness, all kinds of negativities, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, revenge and all kinds of things. If the mind is trained that way, so after death, where will that person go? Where will that person go means, what will that vicious mind project? The impressions are all negative, vicious and vulgar. So naturally such a vulgar mind will create an unconducive environment. Even while living in this world, this person was quarreling with everyone, fighting with everyone, with criminal tendencies, giving only pain and suffering to everyone. So others also were giving pain and suffering to him. In this way he lived here. So the mind is filled with all negative tendencies. Such a mind will project only a negative world, only an unconducive environment around him. So this negative world is called lower world. Bhagavad Gita says, Urdhvam gacchanti sattvasthaha, adho gacchanti tamasaha. The people who have a sattvic mind, they go to the higher worlds. People who have tamasic mind, they go to the lower world. And the mix of it, suppose some person, he has good tendencies and bad tendencies, he has done punya karma, papa karma, is a mix, then he goes to the middle world. Madhye tishtanti rajasaha. So this way we have to understand about world. World depends on our mind for its existence. The nature of the world which we create around us will depend upon the nature of the mind which we have created in us. A sattvic mind will create a beautiful world. A tamasic mind will create a painful world. So now what will be the experience in the higher worlds? The experience will be joy. Experience will be enjoyment. Because a virtuous mind creates a conducive environment. In the conducive environment, there is only happiness, joy, peace, etc. That is why we say Svargaloka is a wonderful loka. What if the mind is filled with negativity? It will take us to the lower worlds. And what can you expect in lower worlds? Only pain and suffering. And that's why we say in Narakaloka there is only suffering. This has to be understood. Now please understand one thing. There are some people who say, I don't believe in Swarga, Naraka, etc. Whatever is there, it is here only. That is another viewpoint. Some people have this view. They say, I don't believe in other worlds, but I believe in this world. In this world you can see Swarga and Naraka. There are people who are enjoying life, there are people who are suffering life. People who are in slum, they are suffering, that is Naraka. And people who are living in what you call luxury and comfort and prosperity, etc., they are in Swarga. So Swarga and Naraka is here itself. Why should we believe in some other world somewhere? This is their argument. Now please understand, what is the definition given of Svargaloka here? The definition given is, there is no old age, there is no disease, there is no death, there is no sorrow, there is no what you call misery, there is only happiness. Now this is the definition given by the Vedas by the Vedas about Svargaloka. Now is this definition applicable to this world? No, it is not applicable. In this world we see death, but the definition given is, there is no death. In this world there is old age. The definition of Svarga is, there is no old age. So therefore, we cannot say that here itself, everything is there. No, there has to be another world. There has to be another projection of the mind where we experience absence of death, absence of old age. There has to be a plane of existence where all these things are not there. Vedas have said it, so it must be there. This way we have to understand. Yes, we get a glimpse of Swarga here, but that doesn't mean that there is no Swarga. No, there is another world, another plane of consciousness. Now one may ask, is it possible that we have no old age, no death? Is it possible? Please understand, this world which you are seeing is a projection of the mind, and this world has its own laws, and one of the laws is, in this world everyone will have to die. Now please understand, who is projecting this? Our mind is projecting. This death, this old age, etc. is projected by this mind in the waking. The very same mind can project, because it is all powerful, it can do anything. It is omniscient, it is infinitely powerful. So therefore, why not? Why can't the mind project a world where there is no death, there is no old age, there is no disease? Why can't it project? Definitely it is possible. A mind which can project this world, a mind which can project a dream world, why can't a mind project a Svargaloka where all these things are absent? Definitely it is possible. In the same way, why can't that mind project a Naraka, a hell, where all kinds of sufferings are present? Definitely it is possible. Mind can project anything, and whatever the mind projects, we will experience it, good or bad. Now an interesting question is, what about a Jnani? As far as a Jnani is concerned, there are no impressions because there are no vasanas. So when the mind is free from all kinds of vasanas, impressions, tendencies, etc., what will it project? It cannot project anything. In fact, there is no such mind. The mind itself becomes absent. And when such a mind is free from all kinds of impression, tendencies, etc., it has nothing to project, so there is no world also. As far as a Jnani is concerned, there is no mind, and therefore there is no world. Then what is there? There is only reality. And what is that reality? Pure consciousness is the reality. So what is his experience? His experience is pure consciousness, and that is me. He abides in that consciousness. Finished. There is no world. In our scriptures, there are so many worlds mentioned. There are 14 worlds. There are higher worlds, there are lower worlds. This Bhuloka is considered to be the middle world. Bhuhu, Bhuaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. Satyaloka is the highest, Brahmaloka. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. These are the 7 below, lower ones. So higher worlds, lower worlds, and the middle world is this world. What about a Jnani? No world. Why no world? Because no mind. Manasam tu kim margane krute naiva manasam marga arjava. When you inquire into the nature of the mind, you find there is no mind. Ramana Maharshi says. So when there is no mind, there are no projections. And this we find in our day-to-day experience also. If the mind is absolutely peaceful in the waking state, you will find that there are no dream while sleeping. There is no world. So only if impressions are gathered in the mind, only then there is a projection of the world. World by itself has no existence. It is nothing but the projection of the mind. Projection is possible only if there are impressions in the mind. And if there are no impressions, there are no world. And then what is there? Only pure consciousness is there. bhava shunya sad bhava susthitihi. This is what Ramana Maharshi says, the highest experience. Bhava shunya, free from all kinds of thoughts, impressions, vasanas, etc. Sad bhava susthitihi, firm abidance in that supreme truth, which is pure existence. That Satchidananda, firm abidance in it. This is the experience of a Jnani. But for others, there are worlds. And what are the different types of worlds? The good world, bad world. Good world depends upon the virtues of the mind. Bad world is created by the vicious vices of the mind. It is all nothing but the projection of the mind based on its samskaras. So this is the essence of the world which we find externally. This way we have to understand. So now the question is, if suppose I want to go to Swarga, what should I do? Swarga is a beautiful world projected by a virtuous mind. So what should I do? If I have to go to Swarga, I must cultivate virtues in the mind. That's all. If I make my mind virtuous, filled with all good, noble values, then such a mind will have to project a wonderful world. Will have to project a Svargaloka for me. So this is all what I need to do. Train the mind in all virtues. And how to train the mind in virtues? So here the mention is Agni Vidya. So what should be Agni Vidya? Agni Vidya should be a Vidya which trains the mind in all noble virtues. About this topic we will see a little more detail later when Yamarāja himself describes this Agni Vidya. So that we will see later. So this has to be understood. So this Vidya which Nachiketa is asking is a technique by which we can go to Swarga. Agni Vidya can take you to Swarga. So what should be the content of Agni Vidya? It has to be something related to cultivating noble virtues of life. Transforming the mind into a virtuous mind. Right. Now with this, we now enter into these verses. So in the 13th verse, Nachiketa says, O Yamarāja, I have heard that you know this Agni Vidya. Please tell me, because I have total faith. I have faith that a person can go to Swarga. I have faith in the existence of Swarga. I have faith in you. I have faith in this Vidya. So I am a person with faith. So therefore, please give me this knowledge. I have heard that people, Svargaloka, Amritatvam bhajante, the people there, they experience immortality. So I would like to have this knowledge. This is my second boon. So now, what does Yamarāja say? Let us see verse number 14, page number 30. Prate bravimi tadume nibodha Swargyamagnim nachiketah prajanan Anantalokapti matho pratishtham Vidhitvametam nihitam guhaya Prate bravimi tadume nibodha Swargyamagnim nachiketah prajanan Anantalokapti matho pratishtham Vidhi tvametam nihitam guhayam. Yes. So Yamarāja says, Nachiketa, te prabravimi. To you I will tell you. Prabravimi. Now you will find that what is written is pra te bravimi. Pra te bravimi. So what you have to do? Pra has to be brought next to bravimi, then it becomes prabravimi. So te prabravimi. To you I will tell you. What is that you are going to tell? Tat swargyam agnim. That Agni Vidya, that knowledge regarding Agni, which is Swargyam, which will take you to Swarga. Tat Swargam Agnim, I will tell you. May Nibodha, learn from me. I will tell you this. How can you tell me? Because Prajanan, I know it. You are right. This knowledge, I have it. Prajanan, I know it. And this knowledge is special. What is the greatness of this knowledge? Anantaloka aptim. Aptim, it will help you gain what? Anantaloka, infinite world. That infinite world of Swarga, those great worlds, this knowledge will help you gain it. You are right. This Agni Vidya will help you gain that infinite world. And Pratishtha, this knowledge is the very Pratishtha, the very support, the substratum, the foundation for all those worlds. This is the greatness of this knowledge called Agni Vidya. It is the support and foundation of all those, Svargaloka. And where is this knowledge present? This Agni Vidya, it's a knowledge. Where is it present? Tvam etam guhayam nihitam vidhi. Vidhi, know. What you should know? That this knowledge, etam, this knowledge, where is it present? Nihitam, present. Where? Guhayam, in the guha, in the cave. Know that this knowledge is present in the cave. Now, in the cave means what? In the cave of the heart. This is how you have to understand. So, this knowledge, which knowledge? Agni Vidya. What is this Vidya? That Vidya which helps you to go Swarga. This knowledge resides in the cave of the heart. Now, what do you mean resides in the cave of the heart? So, please understand, the world is created by the mind. What kind of mind? The mind which has samskaras. So, the world is created by the samskaras of the mind. So, therefore, if you want to create a world, you will have to create samskaras. And if you have to create samskaras, you will have to give that corresponding knowledge which can create samskara. How is samskara created in the mind? Consciously, it is created by giving knowledge. So, give the knowledge, give the right knowledge, and when you practice that knowledge, the mind creates a samskara. Inclination, tendency, samskara means inclination, tendency, the way of thinking, habitual way of thinking. So, you have to continuously train the mind in thinking in a particular way, the way given by Agni Vidya. So, there is a training involved. There is a training in a particular way of thinking involved. So, when you constantly think in that particular way, A samskara is formed in the mind. A tendency is formed in the mind. That mind has a tendency to think in that particular way. You will have to train it. So that becomes the knowledge in that mind. And this tendency, this samskara is the one which is going to project the world for you. So that is why it is said, this knowledge is in the cave of the heart. Now please understand, whenever we use the term heart in spirituality, it is not the pumping heart. Whenever we say heart, it means the very core of our being, the very center of our existence, the very core of our being. So that is the meaning, cave of our heart. So what happens when you constantly practice a particular knowledge? It goes into the very core of our being. It becomes a part of our personality. Our thinking is guided by that knowledge. Our behavior is guided by that knowledge. Our every activity is influenced by that knowledge. Therefore, we can say that knowledge has entered into the very core of our being. It decides everything regarding our life. This is the meaning. So, vidhitvametam nihitam guhaya means understand that this knowledge, etam means this knowledge, it is there in the very core of being of all those wise people who know how to go there. They have internalized it, they have assimilated it. That knowledge has become one with them. So in this way they have trained. So it is there in the very core of their being. This is the meaning. So this Agni Vidya has to become that, and then you will find you will go to such worlds. So please understand this logic. World is projected by the mind. Mind projects it with its impressions. Impressions are created by the kind of knowledge which you feed the mind. So if you feed Agni Vidya to this mind, that mind will project a world which is nothing but heavenly, which is Svargaloka. This Agni Vidya I will give you. Because I know it, I will give you. So then what happened? So now Yamarāja is giving this knowledge to Nachiketa. Let us see the next verse, verse number 15, page number 32. Lokādimagnim tamuvacha tasmai ya ishtaka यावतीर्वा यथा वा स चापि तत् प्रत्यवदत् यथोक्तम् अथास्य मृत्युः पुनरेवाहतुष्टः लोकादिमग्निं तमुवाच तस्मै या इष्टका यावतीर्वा यथा वा स चापि तत् प्रत्यवदत् यथोक्तम् अथास्य मृत्युः पुनरेवाहतुष्टः. Yes. So now this statement is made by Shruti Mata. What does she say? So she is the one who is narrating the story. Shruti Mata. So tam lokadim agnim tasmai uvacha. That Agni, that Agni Vidya, which leads to Swarga, which is a very support of the whole world. Lokadim, which is the cause of the world. Adi means cause. This knowledge which creates world for you, which takes you to such world, this knowledge, Agnividyā tasmai uvacha, to him Yamarāja gave it. Yamarāja gave that knowledge to Nachiketa. And in which way he gave? He gave it elaborately. Yamarāja gave that Vidya. Now there is a particular ritual involved. In this Agni Vidya, there is a particular ritual involved. So there is a Homa Kunda, etc. There is fire and so many things you have to offer. So you will have to make that Homa Kunda. So Yamarāja gave it in such detail. Ya Ishtaka, the kind of bricks which you will have to use to make that Homa Kunda. Ya Ishtaka means the kind, its length, its breadth, its size, the material to be used. Ya Ishtaka, Yavati Hiva, how many bricks should be used? Yathava, in which way the bricks have to be arranged. Everything was given to him in detail, where there is no scope for any doubt. And even the most, now here the brick is mentioned to indicate that even the most insignificant things, like arranging the bricks and the size of the brick, etc., even such seemingly insignificant aspects were also beautifully, in great detail, elaborately explained to Nachiketa. Very clearly. And what did this boy do? Sacha api, this boy also, Nachiketa also, tat pratyavadati. Pratyavadati means repeating. So as Yamarāja was saying, he was also repeating, meaning what? He understood everything, he absorbed everything like a dry sponge. Pratyavadati yatha uktam. Whatever has been said by Yamarāja, without missing even a semicolon, comma or full stop, every aspect of it, sentence by sentence, word by word, he absorbed it and he repeated back to Yamarāja, proving that everything he has grasped, that he has memorized everything, that he has understood everything. Tat pratyavadati yatha uktam, as said. And when Yamarāja saw this, that whatever has been taught, this boy has just absorbed it without missing anything. Means what? He was paying total attention to this teaching. His mind was totally there, with full faith, with full concentration. He was listening, and that is why he was able to grasp everything. And when Yamarāja saw this, asya mrityuhu tushtaha, Yamarāja became very happy with this boy, was extremely pleased. Any teacher will be pleased when you have such a student in front. You don't have to repeat second time, and here is a boy who has absorbed everything with total attention of mind. So Yamarāja became very happy with him, and then punaha eva aha, then Yamarāja spoke these words. He was extremely pleased, and then Yamarāja spoke these words to Nachiketa. What did he speak? That we will see tomorrow. Tomorrow means next class. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.